Hey guys, this is Bernard, and today I'm gonna talk about something non-usual. I'm gonna talk about money. That was a joke. I'm always talking about money, and I like numbers, and I like how you can shape your life with how you spend and how you invest, and how you can create meaningful investments, and I just like this a lot. When I first started to shift toward financial minimalism. And at this time, I didn't even know what financial minimalism was. I didn't know it was a thing. But I was about to start my first business and quitting my full-time job in order to achieve this. And I knew that my income would not be steady. I thought to myself, at least I should keep my expense very low so that I can lower my financial stress. So I started to cut out things that I buy and that I waste money on. In this video, I'm gonna tell you the things that I've stopped buying. In order to get the best result, you have to go where you waste the most money. And most of the people spend a lot of money on their living place, and I was no exception. And that's why I moved out of my condo. I rented it out and I moved into a small apartment. And by doing this, I saved around 400 per month. And this is close to 5 grand per year. So this was definitely the move that had the biggest impact. Now, the second thing that I don't waste as much money as I did is my car and insurance. I used to rent brand new cars, not very expensive car, but I used to rent car at around 300 per month, and insurance was probably around 800 to 1,000 per year. And right now, what I'm doing is that I bought a car cash for 1,200 and my insurance are only 160 per year. So that is about another 4 grand per year that I'm saving just with my cars and insurance. Another thing about insurance, and this is not just about car insurance, this is about every insurance. The way I see them right now is that these companies, they will take a profit over the risk that is related to me. And they will measure how much they're supposed to charge me to take profit over that risk level. So I'd rather just pay the price if whatever would happen, rather than pay you plus the profit that you rake on my risk profile. So basically what it means is that statistically, anyway, you're always winning by not taking an insurance. But there's still insurance that I do take, and these are the one that I could not afford the outcome that would happen to me. And most of the case, these are very low odds even, so those insurance are not very expensive. Like fire insurance over my properties. These are the ones that I still take this one. And also where I live, there are some mandatory insurances. Yeah, that sucks. That's the way I see insurance right now. And the third is smartphones and technologies. Guys, seriously, can we all agree that in 2020 paying for the new features of smartphone is just obsolete? I mean, what are you paying for? I still got that Pixel 2 and it does everything that I need it to do. I'm taking my emails, going through apps. Why would I need a better phone than this? Some will say the camera, and if your phone is your only camera and you like taking pictures or videos, yeah, that can be fine. But if that's the case, you have to look for the phones that have a great camera for the price. I think the Pixel 4a or 3a, that's a phone that has a great camera for the price. And besides smartphones, I got some technologies, but these are all tools that I work with. I got my laptop that I could not live without, and I got my camera, and I got some technology stuff, but I'm not wasting on I'm not spending on watches, I'm not changing my TV. It's a 10 years old TV and I got a PlayStation 3 under it, so I'm not spending money on these. The fourth is really something that I don't miss at all, and it's decorations. Like there's this wall art that I bought 6 years ago maybe, and that is a very good example of something that I don't think I'd ever buy again for my place. I still buy these for some of my Airbnb units, but I don't need to have these in my place. It doesn't contribute to my happiness at all. So these are the stuffs that I don't see myself buying ever again. Otherwise, decorations, I mean, some could say that I got some kind of decorations in my studio, but really I just bought the furnitures and all the things that are in there. I did not bought them. I just looked around me and see what I could use to fill the holes. So that's pretty much about it. And yeah, I bought some lights and stuff, but these are again work related stuff. These are to make these things more appealing to you guys. Now the fifth one, this is something that I've wasted a ton of money on. It's alcohol. Actually alcohol and coffee. I've just stopped probably like 90% of my consumption. Now I drink maybe once every 3 months, like 2 or 3 beers or a cup of wine, and that's it. So these are all money that stack up really quickly, because especially here where I live, it's pretty expensive to buy alcohol. So, and I don't miss any of this. Coffee is also something that I've stopped because I don't like my body to be dependent on something to be efficient or to be in the mood for working or to do anything that I want to do. I don't want to depend on a habit of consuming something. It's just not the way I want to live. And when you stack up all coffee that I don't drink during the years, maybe I'm able to save another 500s per year this way. Now the sixth one, subscriptions. This seems the way in 2020 for companies to make more money on you, because this business model is now more popular than ever. It costs people more and more for a product that they used to buy in one single purchase, and now they're carrying this little amount every month, and that little $10 every month end up at the end of the year being 120. So would you have spent 120 to use this all year long? That's the question that I always ask myself when I face just another subscription. I try to really avoid subscriptions, especially for things like entertaining, like watching TVs. I don't have cable, or I don't have anything to watch TVs. I'm not paying for Netflix or things like that. I just have my internet and I watch YouTube. And this is also a way for me to watch things that I'm interested in, and it's free. And again, I do have some work-related subscriptions, but these are things that make me more efficient, so it's worth the dollars that I'm paying to get that more efficient. The seventh one, this is new clothes. I used to buy a lot of new clothes, like maybe around 1 to 2 grand per year, but I've stopped like probably completely. I got a lot of basics t-shirts like this, and I wear these all the times, and I don't really care as much as I did what I look like with my clothes. I mean, these are just fines for me. So I don't see why I would spend more money just to have a new looks. It's just not me anymore. Just as an example, last year I think I bought 1 pair of pants and 1 sweatshirt, and they were both like $6 and $8. So I've spent less than $20 last year for clothes. And I think that this year will probably more look like zero. Number 8. I thought I was the only one to do this, but after I saw Graham Stephan and Gabe Ball do it, I just realized it seems to be more popular than I thought. But I do cut my hair myself, and this is not big saving, but instead of driving somewhere to get my hairs done, I just do it in my bathroom, and it takes me 15 minutes instead of probably 1 hour if I would have to drive somewhere. So I like the time that I save here. So it used to cost me around $15 to get my hairs done, and I would do this every 10 days. So that would be around $550 per years that I spent on haircuts. And with my new method, all it cost me was $40 for a single purchase of a clipper, and to assume that my haircut will probably look weird for 2 or 3 months. And yes, it did. But whatever. Worst case scenario, I would just end up with a cap on, or I would end up completely shaved. Okay, the ninth one. This is the parkings. When I was working in a pretty decent job, I was walking every day about 10 to 12 minutes in a field to go from a free parking to where I used to work. And a lot of my coworkers at this time, they were paying for a parking that was right beside the building. I think this parking was $12 a day, but since I'm really not sure, let's say it was 10. And let's say a typical worker usually work around 240 days per year. So if you pay the parking every day for the whole year for every 240 days at $10, would pay $2,400 per year for this parking. Is it just me, or this is a huge waste of money? Like, you can get some really good vacations. You can invest 2,400. I mean, you can do stuff with 2,400. So that really is something that changed my mind about parking. And since then, I always try to park for free and I just walk. Again, if I would know that the time that I'd spend walking, I could monetize this time and it was just a dumb decision, I would probably not do it. But deep down inside me, I always had this valuation of money that I always think of that 2,400s, and I just decide to walk every time. Now, number 10, that's travel and vacations. And I did not travel for vacations for 4 to 5 years right now. Every travel that I made during these years was related to work. And I mean, right now it's easy with the pandemic, but when this is going to be over, I'm gonna start back to travel. I think that the quality of the memories that you get for the money that you spend, this is worth it. But hey, since I haven't done it for a couple of years now, I've probably saved around 6 to 8 grand during these years by not doing it. And the last one is probably one of my favorite thing that I've cut out of my budget. And I've stopped going out at restaurants. Wow, just saying it makes my wallet feels good. As I evolved with how I like to live and where do I want to spend my money and invest my money, I've just realized that I like the money that I spend to create a durable effect. The average meal that I eat costs between $2 to $8 probably. And I gotta say that I don't cheap on foods because I really do believe that to have a high quality of life, your body has to be healthy, and your body reflects all your habits, the nutriments that you eat, your exercise, your stress level, the quality of your sleep. So I don't cheap on these things. This is another way for me to invest in a bright future. It's to take care of my health. But now, to me, spending 25 to 40 to $100 and even more for a single meal, to me now, that's just a big waste of money. And I'm done with this. Alright guys, so that's it for this one. I hope you like this, and let me know in the comments down below if you think I'm super cheap or just well grounded with my essentials. And for those who thinks about making the switch to financial minimalism, what I could say is that 3 years later, I almost enjoy as much not spending as I used to enjoy spending. And I really mean it. Every time I'm about to drop some dollars and finally I don't, I get the feeling. Every time that I don't spend some money and every time that I save and invest my money, this is like I'm paying myself. And it just gets me closer to where I want to be and what I want to do with my investments and my projects. Now it's for real. I'm out and I see you in the next one.